welcome back to another titillating, exciting. I still haven't figured out another word for exciting.
You have not.
I gotta look up that thesaurus. Scintillating, maybe. Breathtaking. No, it's definitely not breathtaking.
Well,
unless I fart.
Yeah.
Another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kids.
And eventually I will come up with another word for exciting. But in the meantime, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Guide to Poor Parenting, all one word. Mm-hmm. Jennifer, how's your week been?
It's been okay. We're still dealing with a tween attitude and
headaches.
And headaches, yeah, body issues, and Wesley being a tween.
We had fun. We went to the beach not too long ago, and that was fun.
Yep.
We just got done with spring break.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think we're next year for spring break. I told Jennifer, I was like, my cousin Kelly, who lives in St. Louis, wanted to do a cruise for spring break this year, but we waited till like December to really start planning, and it just jumped in price too much.
Yeah.
So I was like, as soon as we get the schedule for the 23-24 school year, I was like, let's plan it out, because it really wasn't too bad when I looked back in October. Mm-hmm. It was a little expensive, but it wasn't terrible.
Right, and I've never done a cruise before, so I'd really like to do that.
So we'd have to. I looked at something it was like a 4-day cruise to Bermuda. I was like, I think that'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
And like, Mom was excited too because she wants to bring my brother, but he can't leave the country because he can't get a passport with all the child support he owes. Oh. But you don't have to have a passport on a cruise if it's a closed circuit. Mm-hmm. So she was excited about that.
Okay.
So, see if I can invite Zane's mom too. Let everybody know. I was like, this is the date we're going. This is the cruise. You want to come? Just join us.
Right. Yeah.
Have a big old family reunion.
And then one day we'll do an adult trip to like Jamaica or one of those places and get one of those all-inclusive where you ain't got to pay for shit. You just pay for it up front and you get all the alcohol you want and all the food you want. That sounds like heaven to me anyways, just that in itself. Yeah. And let's just go. Yeah.
Especially when the kids get a little bit older.
Yeah.
And we can leave them alone for a bit.
Well, I still wouldn't leave them alone. Okay. I'd be like, Khalil, you got to watch Wesley. Because she is more responsible than Wesley is.
I'm not sure I will put that on poor Khalil, though.
No, I know. That's,
Well, how about we, when they're old enough that we can just be like, go on your own, explore the resort. Do you think you'd ever get to that point?
I like the idea on the cruises where they have the babysitters there for you. So if we can find one that kind of babysits, even when they're teenagers, I feel like Wesley would get into way too much shit, I feel like. Cleo would be okay on that, but I think Wesley would be like, oh, let's go jump off this cliff. Yeah. Or, let's go see what this snake does or what this animal will do. He would hurt himself.
I don't know. I think if we got someplace with like a water park resort and just like park it here, stay in here, please. He gets so hyper-focused when he's enjoying stuff. I think he'd enjoy himself like that.
You think so?
I think so. Especially like some, like in Jamaica, at least the all-inclusives the one I've been to, it's a pretty hard border. And it's not easy. You can't just walk off property.
Oh, okay.
And there was a chain link fence, and there were people outside begging to like do stuff for you through the fence.
But see, Wesley would give all the money away that he has.
He wasn't giving him no money.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, we'll talk about it. Yeah, I think I still want to keep him here with like grandma, and us go without kids.
Yeah. Maybe we'll bring all the podcast equipment on the cruise and like reporting live from Barbados.
Oh my God, that'd be so much fun. Yeah. Can we like put that in the will you pay for mine since you're doing this?
We ain't getting no money for this podcast yet. I'm hoping we'll get some. Your coworker was telling me that was it your coworker that was telling what used to be work for Yellowhammer? No.
Oh no, she knew the owner of Yellowhammer.
Yeah. But she was talking about possibly getting a sponsorship.
Yes.
We're trying to work our magic to get her on the podcast for Nessie's.
Yes, we are.
She sounds fine.
Yeah, she is.
So
she doesn't think so. So that's what the struggle is.
And apparently she thinks I'm cool.
Yep, she does.
And is intimidated by me.
Well, yeah. I guess I've just talked you up so much. I don't know how,
Like, I
but
am just a
she's reading between the lines because I haven't said nothing
fuddy-duddy
nice
old
about you at all.
middle-aged gay man
Yeah.
who's tired and
Bad hips.
exactly.
How's your week been?
It's been pretty good. Hip's still bothering me. Hope I'm getting the surgery pretty soon. Oh, my kitten just escaped from the back room where we had her had him locked up. So you may be hearing some mews and meows. But yeah, it's been pretty good. The kitten has been keeping us up because we have a fabric headboard and he likes to either claw at it or climb it while we're sleeping. And it's just like, it's kind of a thicker headboard. So he'll he's small enough he can lay on top of it and get up off the bed. But then you hear him like scratching at it.
I gotcha.
Like, motherfucker. And I'll reach up and like swat at him to get him to shut up. But he hasn't attacked us too much. Like Buddy, our giant fat cat, who's 23 pounds, has attacked my foot in the middle of the night. But Milo hasn't done that too much.
Well, he gets the zoomies too because he sleeps all day.
Yeah. And he's trying to get at Jennifer's cocktail. Speaking of which, what are we drinking? No, I'm
What are we drinking, Jason?
That's right.
You're the one that's introducing it this
We
week.
were Googling the translation of this. So it's El Campeón, which is the champion.
Yep.
And it's a picture of a rooster. So I'm going to guess it's cockfighting.
Yeah.
Let's see. And it's Torneo Pires.
Sounds like what she sounded like when we did the
Branco
translation.
Arinto. I don't know. It's a white wine from Portugal.
Yep.
I apologize for if somehow we get a Portuguese or Brazilian listener. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I don't really know the Brazilian accent well enough to mimic it.
Yeah.
Although I'm the type of person that if I'm around people with accents different from mine, I'll pick it up.
Oh yeah.
I will mimic, and not to mock. I just like if I like you, I will pick up your accent.
Yep.
I've picked up a British accent. I've picked up French accents. I've picked up someone. There was someone I really thought was the coolest person in the world. And
Me?
Yes, you. But you and I speak similar enough. But my coworker, who's from New Jersey, I started talking like this, and she's got a little bit of a Jersey accent, so I'd be like, "Hey, Lisa, how you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, she probably thinks I'm mocking her," but it's a. Let's see, let me taste it real quick.
It's all right. I mean, it's a white wine. I'm not the biggest fan of white wines. It is drinkable. It's not like that one we had where I had to give it to Zane to drink the rest of.
Sour.
That was horrible, but yeah, it's drinkable.
And it's on par with that red we had last week.
Yep.
It's kind of bland, but it's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
It's like mid party wine.
Yeah.
Not the
definitely.
Stuff,
not the starter, but
Where's the stuff you cook with, maybe?
Yeah, oh yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, for all that wine cooking you do.
For you to cook for me, you know.
That's true. So what are we talking about?
We're talking about homework this week because we've been having to do e-learning like in February and then in April.
And
they're doing like instead of weather.
Because we had to do it the last day or the Friday before spring break.
Right.
They had an e-learning day.
And then they had a weather day, but they had to take that because as soon as it's going to, they say it's going to storm. Oh, let's cancel school.
Yeah, just do e-learning.
Or just cancel school. They
that's
canceled
true.
it. So the weather day is now an e-learning day. So we're having to do a lot of work at the house. Luckily, you took over the last one we had. So you got to learn how nice it is to teach Wesley because...
Well, I did it last calendar year in 2022. I did something with him, and I tried to I feel so bad for him because he's so badly behind in math. He just hold on.
Well, in everything, baby.
Yeah.
Not even just math. He's behind in everything. Bless you.
But at least with reading, he may not understand the words all the time, but I can usually help him puzzle it out.
Right.
And he does and he seems to comprehend what he's hearing pretty well. But the math, it's just like in one ear, it's like a hollow cavern between the ears.
Yep.
And I feel bad for him because he's supposed to be doing we were doing
fractions, weren't you?
Well, the first time we did it last calendar year, we were doing fractions and long division. It was like I was a little rusty myself because I was like, oh, I don't remember. No, it wasn't fractions. It was multiplication of like hundreds and tens. So like 213 times 15 or something like that.
Right.
And he doesn't get the basic multiplication, like 6 times 6. He doesn't understand that well enough. So
Yep.
doing 15 times 300 is a struggle for him.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, I was trying to do the, in groups, like, okay, here's 4. We're going to multiply it 3 times. So 4, and then I hold up another 4. How many is that?
Yep.
And that's multiplied 2 times. Now we do another 4. How many is that? And it's like, it was so goddamn painful.
Yep.
And I got through maybe 6 or 7 with him. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure I can keep doing this because this is giving me a headache. So the one we did last week was, or the week before spring break was fraction multiplication.
Right.
Which is not used, because the numbers tend to be small, it's not that bad.
Right.
So it was like, what's 1/5 and 2/6? So he can usually get those okay.
Right.
At least those general multiplications. But like the idea that things cancel, and he just was not getting it.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
But
Before anyone yells at me that my baby doesn't know his multiplication tables, I have tried.
We bought the cards.
I have tried. He just doesn't remember them because they're not important to him.
Yep.
So I've even did like 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? To try the 2s, and he'll go 2, 6, 9, 12.
Yep.
He'll mix them up, and it's just he has memory issues, as well as dysgraphia, dyslexia, an IEP, a low IQ.
It's a struggle.
It's a struggle.
So we're kind of talking post-COVID. Before COVID in 2019,
Yeah.
I remember doing homework. Like, we got a little bit of homework with Kalia every night.
Yeah.
It was like usually just like a worksheet and some reading.
Yeah.
We had to do. Did you have that with Wesley?
No.
Oh, because you're the person who was watching who was doing
Yeah,
it with him.
because after school, which they didn't have an after school during in before COVID, I got him. Well, it was 1 year before COVID, technically, because we're in, yeah, and he went to Chapman, and that's where we met Mr. Martin.
And Mr. Martin worked with him there?
Worked with him at Chapman, and he did all his homework for me and after school so that I didn't have to do it with him.
I see.
And then when we went to COVID, Mr. Martin opened up where he would watch Wesley all day during, he would pick him up, take him to school for me, pick him up, and then have him at his house until I came and picked him up, and he would do reading with him and all of his work with him. And it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And Mr. Martin was just the sweetest man that he was able to, because Wesley listened to him in a way that he doesn't listen to a lot of people. I mean, he still was an asshole, at times, just because that's Wesley. And a child, in all honesty. But,
Yep.
me saying asshole is like, just not wanting to do it. Let me get my electronics. Let me,
He would pout.
watch TV. Let me pout about it. Yeah, exactly. But it was nice for me because by the time I get off of work and I get him, it's enough time for us to get home, make dinner, and then go to bed. Because his bedtime is so early.
Yeah.
And there's just not any way for us to do anything. And so it would be hard if I had to do homework with him.
Yeah.
Now, he's in after school now, and I don't really think that they work much with him. So I've told him, ask them to help. And if they don't, tell me. And we'll do it together. The thing is, it's really hard on me.
It's really hard, but I have a few cute pictures of you two working together on stuff, like reading.
Oh, yeah?
And it's really cute.
Yeah.
I know it's tough on you, because I remember there was a few times I was like, she's going to murder this child if she has to keep helping her with homework.
Yeah.
Especially when we're trying to teach him how to read.
Yeah.
Because that was painful as fuck.
Yes. And he'll be randomly, does that say be safe, Mom? Yeah, baby, good job. Like, I just, encourage any time that I can for him to read. But he was bad, and he got in-school suspension, and then he got out-of-school suspension a couple months ago.
What was that
and
for? I forgot.
he was being disruptive, and he was like, there was a substitute. And I don't know about y'all, but I remember having a substitute, and you would clown, and you'd be worse than you would be if your normal teacher was there. Well,
I
he was
always
being
good with my teachers.
Oh, shut up! No, you weren't. Okay, well then you're not like the rest of us. But he was like 10 times worse. Like he was standing up when the teacher was asking him to sit down, and he was walking around the classroom, and like kids were walking by, and he'd be like, "What are you looking at?" And, like, I mean, he was being bad. So you got.
This was in the middle of Adderall too, wasn't it? When he was kind of.
I want to say this was on
Folklore?
on the new stuff, the Vyvanse.
What was he? No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I thought.
I think this might have been when he was because we've been having to watch him take his pills because we found many pills in different places where he's been hiding them. So now me and Jason both, whenever Jason has to give him the pill, watches him put it in his mouth, make sure it's not in the cup, make sure that he drinks water after he puts the pill in his mouth, and then makes him drink said water so that way he can't hide it underneath his tongue, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it is it's a fight so that we can make sure that he does have the pill in his system.
Yeah.
I think it was during Vyvanse. It could have been during Adderall. I don't remember, to be honest.
I remember he got aggressive during Adderall.
He got very aggressive during Adderall, but so they kicked him out of school on a Friday. So I had to take off work because you know this isn't good.
Nope.
And I'm not going to let him have fun when he's been kicked out of school. So I'm not going to ask you to watch him like I would if it's a weather day, you know, if you wouldn't mind. And because you work from home, it could just be like tablet time and TV time until, you know, I get off of work or whatever. So I woke him up before 8 o'clock and told him, you know, you have this many minutes before school starts, and we're starting at 8 o'clock. The teacher sent all this work for him to do, and I had to sit there and do all the work with him. Y'all, I don't remember nothing about adjectives, adverbs, none of that. I had to look that shit up to see if I could figure out, and I told the teacher, I'm like, I'm working with him on this, so if this is wrong, it is my fault, not his, because I'm trying to teach him, but it's been a long time since I had to look at this stuff, and we worked, school gets out 2:30, we worked until 2:30, like I gave him a lunch, I made him, I don't remember, I made him eat something from the house, and then I was like, it's my day off, I'm going to go get me some food. And so I made him get in the car with me, and I went and got me some fast food and made him watch me eat it while he was still doing some more work. Like I said, I'm torturing this child so that way he doesn't get kicked out of school again, because I don't want him to think that this is a good time and not a bad time.
Yeah. And
then after 2:30, I said, okay, school's out. I needed to fix my phone screen because it had cracked. And so I said, we're going to go to the Apple store. And he says, I'll never forget this. He says, oh, I'd love an apple. And I'm like, baby, what store are you talking about? He's like, you know where they have like the candied apples and stuff. And I'm like, no, baby, the Apple store, the store for Mama's phone and like all my, electronics that I have. Oh, okay. But you know what? Apple store does sound good. I'll get me some chocolate-covered strawberries because I love those. Can I get an apple? Did you get kicked out of school today? Yes. Then no. So I like I said, I'm torturing this child. And I get some chocolate-covered strawberries, get my phone fixed. He's in the Apple store, and he can't touch nothing. And he so wants to touch everything.
Oh, yeah. That's a kid's playground.
Right. So we get back home. My phone's still at the Apple store. They, give me a time as to when to go pick it up. I'm eating my chocolate-covered strawberries in front of him while he's still writing sentences because that's his next step to say, I will not be disruptive in class. And I'm eating my chocolate-covered I'm just trying to make it the worst that I can think of for him so that he doesn't do it again.
Yeah.
He did not like it. I know this for 100%. You talk to him about it now. It wasn't that bad. Okay. You want to do it again? No. Okay. And it was bad, because like because he's not a very sickly kid. When he's sick, it's you lay in your bed.
Yeah.
We're not going to watch TV all day when we're sick. Mama could do it because I'm an adult and I
Yeah.
know when I'm really sick. You could just be playing. So
Yeah.
it's kind of those, trying to make him not have a good time to try to make him not keep doing it.
Yeah.
You'd rather be at school than be at home in that circumstance.
Yeah. I did that with
So.
Kalia. Kalia's never really been sick. She got sent home one time because she was feeling kind of poorly, but I was just like, just stay in your room. I was like, you can play with your dolls if you want to get bored. Just stay in your room. You're sick. I remember Kalia. We didn't have too much fights over homework. I will say the biggest fights we had were about piano practice because we had put her in pianos before was it before or after the pandemic? I can't remember. Sometime.
It was after like during.
Yeah, because I was still having to wear masks. But we have a friend who teaches piano, and I was like, would you like to take piano lessons? So we signed her up. We bought a little keyboard, not a little one, expensive one.
Yeah.
And the biggest fights we had were just getting her to like do piano practice because she the teacher was like, oh, here's an app and you just play the notes that come down the line, and she just got really bent out of shape anytime she fucked up. And it just got, I was tired of fighting with her over it. It was like, this is meant to be something fun you enjoy. I'm not going to fight with you over this. She's expressed recently she'd like to do it again.
Really?
Yeah, so we'll see. I want to put her into gymnastics first because she said she wanted to do ballet, and I'm willing to let her do it, but it's like in seasons, and so it doesn't start till summer.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, homework's not been terrible with her. She's pretty good about especially if it's an e-learning day. She's she can sit down and get everything done.
Yep.
So I've been pretty happy with her on that. The boys, Matt and John, I probably had the most experience with tutoring for them.
Yeah.
And
me.
Oh, yeah, you too.
Yep.
Although, do you remember that? So Jennifer's been working on her associates for a while.
Yeah.
And she took an economics class. And I took several economics classes, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought economics was fun. And our neighbor, a friend of Jennifer and I, his name's Chad, is a economics major, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And he gave us his old book, and we're like, oh, we'll just work on this together. None of the shit she did looked like stuff Chad and I did. And we were so confused. Because, in normal economics, it's there's a supply line, and there's a supply and demand line. And, there's there's different areas you calculate and how much you lose and all that stuff. And nothing you did in that class looked like shit we did.
Yep.
And I was so confused.
And I had to take 2 semesters of it.
And you ended up just you would take practice exams, memorize the answers, and then that would be what you would put down. And you got an A, I think. Yep. I remember. But I just felt so bad for that one because I was like, what the fuck is this
I would
bullshit?
just do the practice exams. I think I had 2 chances, and I would I'd print off the ones that I got, what was wrong, and then I know that wasn't the right answer, and I'd figure out what was the right answer, and then I would write, because I had to go to this school, even though it was a, what's the word? Online class, thank you. I had to go to the school for the testing center, and the very last exam I had Wesley, and I just got him, and I had to go to the testing center, so I asked my sister, say, hey, can you watch him for me? I'll try to be as quick as I possibly can. I don't remember how many questions were on this quiz. It's usually about, I think it was 50 to 100. And I read it in the parking lot right before I got into school. I got in there. I took the test in 12 minutes. Left. Got a 96.
Yeah.
Went and picked him up. Was so sorry. And she's like, hey, I made dinner stay. I was like, okay, But I just kept reading it and reading it and reading it and reading it and just remembering, okay, this is this, and then just took the test because I ain't going to know. First off, I ain't going to know anything about economics. I'm not doing anything in economics in my real job.
Yeah.
And I ain't going to remember that shit.
No. I mean, I remember some of it, but I was in class and I really enjoyed it,
Right.
so it clicked with me.
Yeah.
But and when you did, I was like, what the fuck is this
Yeah.
bullshit? It's like, where's all the supply and demand lines?
Yeah.
And I think the second semester was a bit more like that.
I think it
No,
was still the same.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I remember you had it down pat to a formula.
Oh
So
yeah, I
it was,
figured out what to do and just
yeah.
did that.
So you
Yeah.
just it was like you didn't really need tutoring,
Yep.
but we did stats. I've tutored you and Zane in statistics.
Yep.
And,
I'm on my second semester now.
yep, doing good so far.
Yeah. Yay.
Yay. But Matt and John, they've always come like they. I guess. I mean, their mom's pretty. Gwen is a kind of a hothead, so and I would imagine she just doesn't have time to tutor them a lot. But they also like doing it with me because I've taught before, so any math problems they've always come to me, and I've always enjoyed doing that stuff with him. And I do like working with Wesley, except for he's just such a at a level that I'm not used to working at that
Yeah.
it can be a little exhausting because he just A doesn't want to do it and B does not give a shit.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of tired me about Wesley. It's like
Yep.
he doesn't want to do it, and he really doesn't get it.
Yep.
So just like oh. So for all four listeners, you may not have heard on the microphone, but we locked the kitten away in the back bedrooms, and I just heard a meow.
Yeah. And it sounded like someone fell off the bed or something.
I think the fat cat got the kitten.
Ah.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah, you helped Wesley with his homework too. We had to do a historical figure bottle,
Oh, that's right. That's
and
right.
we had Martin Luther King Jr. So this was right during the time that he had the out of school suspension. So I was on the Wikipedias, just kind of going over all of the things that I knew about Martin Luther King Jr. and kind of reading so that because he had to do like a paper on it, and then he had to make the bottle, and he was coming up with some shit that I was just like, baby, that's not true. Oh, what did he say? He said like that Martin Luther King Jr.'s skipped grades, and then he didn't graduate, and I'm like, baby, where'd you learn that from? Oh, the library at school. And I was like, I don't think that's right, baby. Maybe you're thinking of somebody else, maybe, but I was showing him his school thing on on the Googles and everything, and like, yeah, he went to like 4 different colleges because he went to a HBCU, then he went to like a pastor college or seminary or whatever it's called, and so like he went to he graduated multiple times from different schools. And I learned some stuff too, and I was like, "Hey, this is kind of cool." But he was just not listening, and he didn't think it was as cool as I did. But then we came over that week, and you did the bottle with him and decorated the bottle, and I mean, you could see which ones were done by the parents when we looked at them, and which ones were done by the kids, because like the ones with parents, they had a Michael Jackson one that was just whoa. Like, I couldn't even do that, and I'm an adult, and they're just so creative. And I was like, that's not a kid that did that,
Yep. I remember I've done a solar system with Matt and John. I did diorama with Cell for both of them. I did some other stuff too. I've done several projects and presentations. Oh, I've done so many. Luckily, Clea hasn't had to do any of those yet, but I know they're coming.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing I'm most proud of was the summer between first and second grade, I think it was, when she was still kind of, remember when we did the reading list?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she was still kind of in early years of learning to read, and she was in the summer months, and we wanted her to continue reading. So I gave her a challenge. I was like, okay, for every 10 books you read, you get like a little bit of money, like $1 or $2 or something. And it was like, if you can get to 90 books by the end of summer, by this cutoff date, I'll give you like $20. And she did it all. And she's definitely a lot more confident reader than Wesley is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But she's also like, I don't think she's not confident reading in front of other people, because she gets low. She's gotten C's in reading at school, but she has A's in English and reading comprehension. So I'm like, what the fuck are they testing her on? Because
Yeah.
I think she just isn't confident. She probably flubs up words when
Gotcha.
she reads. But you can tell she's a confident reader.
Right. And she does really well with me.
Yeah. Anytime, like, even if she doesn't quite understand the words, she can figure it out a lot of
Yep.
times. She'll piece it together.
Yep.
And I'm impressed. And she picks up on subtext really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too worried about her as a
Nope.
learner. The only thing I worry about is with as she gets older with math, because I can tell she's struggling a little bit with that. And I need to spend a little more time with her on like getting like the foundational shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Since you haven't done much, I don't think Wesley has ever did Common Core stuff.
Well, I got him when he was 8, so I don't know if that starts like first grade, second grade. Well, technically, I think I got him in second grade. I never saw it, so I don't know because he was going to another school before he started going to Blossomwood with me, and he's always had the IEP just because he's needed it, but. I wish sometimes it's just like I wish I got him when he was like 4 or 5, and then I could have tried to do more with him. But you get him at 8 and he can't read and doesn't really know his ABCs that well and can't write them down. It's like,
Well, but I say if you gotten him at 3 or 4, you would have probably avoided a lot of the trauma that.
Yeah, I would have. But it's just I got him at 8. This is how it worked. I have him at 12. He's now going from not being able to read at all, reading at a kindergarten level. So I feel like I've done a lot. We're working on it.
Probably at a first grade level.
Well, the last time they did the testing on him, they're about to do the testing again next week. I don't know if you know about that. I got the email. So we'll see where he is now. Even though he's in 5th grade, Kalia's way above him on everything, just because you guys, you got her younger too, and
she didn't have nearly as much trauma, and she doesn't have the ADHD thing is a huge problem.
And her foster family before you got her was perfect, like they're wonderful.
I will say I am super impressed by Sai and Daisha. They were on in the first season, but they have 5 children and their kids are. I'm not going to say geniuses, but Daisha is a stay-at-home mom, so she obviously has the time and resources to work with her kids a lot. Yep. And I think they were all reading before they got into kindergarten, if I remember correctly. And their geography is amazing because they have the games where you point out the maps, and they're like, oh, there's Iceland and here's Romania, and I just remember one time they were showing us a map, and they're like, oh, here's Reykjavik, and I was like, God damn! I was like, I remember learning about the capitals in the States when I was a kid, but European geography, it's like I don't hardly any of us go. Most Americans don't go to Europe, so it's like if you know the North American countries, you're pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like I had an advantage knowing about the European countries just because I got to go so many times and stuff. But I will say that their son won. He won the school spelling bee, which he's in the same grade as Wesley, as 5th grade, and then he went on to do the cities of all the, and I think he got up in the 10th. I think it was maybe 4th or 5th, but I don't want to be wrong. But he did really well. I was very proud of him for that.
When did you hear that? I don't remember that.
What?
When did they tell you that?
They didn't. It was on Facebook.
Oh. Well,
Blossomwood posted it.
Come on, Josiah.
Yeah. I didn't know if I could say his name, so I didn't say it. So. I'm sure that Daisha just said it when, she was on the podcast. But
the school posted it on Facebook, so they have a bigger reach than we do.
Well, that's true.
So
that's sad. It's true.
I mean, it's very true. I don't know. I will say, it seems like I remember when I was in high school, I always had about maybe 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour of homework per night. I always had some amount of homework. Not usually a lot, but I had some. But it seems now, and I'm kind of glad for it, they've retooled it so it's less homework you bring home. Mm-hmm. It's they have these big block periods where here's the work, you've got an hour to do it.
Yeah.
And you got a teacher there to help you.
Right.
So, and I think that's like more the European, Scandinavian. I don't know if the big blocks is the same thing, but like I know like most European countries, you don't get a big dose of homework to bring home. And also, like I think with I've heard with Germany, it's like you're done by like 12:31, and then you go home on the bus or the you walk home, and then you can go play in the local soccer leagues or whatever.
Well, I mean, I never got to go to an actual German school because we were always on American
Oh
bases. So
yeah,
I got, shipped to the base, but shipped to the base, bused to the base, I should say. But yeah, they don't their education is a lot different than ours. That is very, very
yeah,
true. Homework, I don't think that's it's not it hurts the kids, especially low income kids.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Because
it
parents
separates
are still
them.
working. They might be working 3 4 jobs just to provide for their kids, so the kids are latchkey kids. They go home, and who's there to help them with said homework?
Yeah.
It's better if they do all the work at school, because like you said, they have a teacher there, they have classmates they can ask questions to, or
Hmm.
whatever. I don't think homework is a smart idea. I understand that sometimes it has to be done. I mean,
Did you have
yes.
a lot when you were a butler?
I don't remember, to be
Oh, okay.
honest.
I went to a private school, so I always had. I think probably it was a college prep school, even though it was a parochial school. It was still kind of like we were all. It was prep to go to college,
Yeah.
so I knew I always had homework, and I think in college, I mean it's like a 60 minute to maybe an hour and a half class, so we always had homework, but it was also like maybe 3 or 4 hours of instruction, 3 hours of instruction within the week, and
Yeah.
then you're just like, okay, here's your homework, go home and do it.
Yeah, I think in high school I didn't, maybe not, I don't remember homework, but I remember I had to study. For like the next exam, or um the test the next day, or that kind of thing. I remember
Yeah,
I had to study. So I don't know if that's technically homework or not, studying for the test, but I know I had to do that
yeah,
because government kicked everybody's ass in Butler, um, because that teacher was the only teacher that was trying to get us ready for college, and all the other teachers were not. So, whoo, Coach Bellis was a teacher, and I mean I was fine. I got a B, I think, in his class, or a C. I passed. That's all I know, and all that matters.
I remember.
But he was hard.
I remember. I think it was in my sophomore year. I had the opportunity to take honors level math, like in high school, but it was like it was the same topics, if I remember correctly, but there was a lot more homework, and I got
Oh,
overwhelmed by it because I could, not that I was an AB student, I mean, with a couple of C's every now and then,
yeah.
but I was a pretty good student. But I would, if it was like too much homework, I could get overwhelmed because it was like, I didn't really want to do too much. I've always this kind of philosophy in my life is like, I will do enough to make sure that I am doing what I need to do and be
Right.
comfortable. But I'm not like if I'm passionate about it, hardworking. You will see me there every day. You'll see me bending over backwards.
Right.
But if it's like, like I say with my job, it's like if I like the team, do everything I can.
Yep.
If it's just a paycheck, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm doing what you ask of you. It's not. I
You're
don't think
not
it's
going
quite.
above and beyond.
Yeah.
You're just doing what you need to do.
And I. Whereas I think you are you feel like some personal guilt about not like busting your ass all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know what that is, but yeah. I get mad if I don't get an A, or if I don't do the best that I can. And
Well, I feel like I try to do the best I can, but at the same time, it's like I'm gonna do the amount of work I feel is appropriate for the situation. So, like, with my coworkers at work, I'm probably the hardest working developer on the team.
Right.
Like, I certainly spit out everything I need to do and do everything I need to do. I don't like, and I'm always the one to help to volunteer. I love to help people.
Yeah.
If you want help, I love doing that.
Yeah.
But if it's like, oh, let me just pull something out of my ass to keep myself busy and like make myself look good, I'm like, Probably not.
I don't do that.
No, I don't think you do either.
Yeah, I don't do that. I do a lot. Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
You're probably the hardest working person on your team, I would say.
And
Maybe.
then when it comes to school, I I do get on myself but I feel like I'm getting a little better. Like if I don't have an A, I'm like, but I do get excited for getting my A's. But like I think I've gotten an 88 on one of my exams, and then I just got a 98, and then but the 88, I was like, you know what, I tried my hardest. I'm good.
Yeah.
I can't figure out what else that she wants me to do on this, so I'm good. I have an A in the class, so that's okay.
I was going to say, you're rocking 2 A's this semester.
I am so far, knock on wood, and then so far in May. So we got a couple more months, and I can't believe that we only have a couple more months before school's over.
Yeah. It's March. We're recording this on March 19th, but who knows when it'll come out.
Yeah.
But it's yeah. I think a part of it's just because we're getting we're in our year 42.
What?
You're about to be 42 though.
Yeah.
In May. And I'm 45.
Yep.
And it's like the older we get, the faster it just goes.
Yep.
I was talking to Zane about something about like what we're gonna do after Kalia moves out, I was talking to you, I think, about Wesley moving out, and I was like, that's only 6 years till he turns 18.
Yep.
And at this point in our lives, it just goes by so fucking fast.
Yep.
We've had them for 4 years. It does not feel like it.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't feel like it's been 4 years, but then when they have that time that they want to be pouty, that I feel that.
Yeah.
That feels like it's
4 years of trials and tribulations.
Yes, and just even in maybe an hour, it feels like I've just lost 4 years of my life. Like my hair is going to be whiter, my body's going to be hurting more, my patience level is getting lower and lower and lower, and it's hard.
I think your patience level is getting better.
Do you?
I do.
I've been really working on it.
I think you have your ups and downs, your ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
But I think you are figuring out how to talk to each other.
I'm trying.
I think you're learning his language. I think he's learning yours.
Yeah.
But I think you're both stubborn people.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm a Taurus. I know that. I'm straight up stubborn.
And he's kind of dumb. So.
That's true.
Like, it sounds terrible, and that's why we call it a guide to poor parenting.
Yeah.
Like, but and even with Kalia, it's like we had to learn to talk to each other. Yeah. But that's how it was with even with Arya. It's like she was a pain in the ass when we first got her. Yeah. But like you learn to talk to each other. For our 4 listeners, I'm referring to our dog who just passed away recently.
Yeah.
But
R.I.P.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast. Have we talked about it on the podcast?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a little segue. Arya, you've heard her probably barking in the background, and she would lay on the couch sometimes and snore and
lick.
But she developed liver cancer. Yeah. Well, she started feeling poorly and peeing everywhere.
Yep.
And we were like, maybe she's sick, so we took her in, and the doctor was like, well, I think it's pancreatitis, so we gave her some medication for that, and then she just started losing weight.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, she got wicked skinny.
Oh, she looked like skin and bones. She looked awful. And then she started bleeding out her gums, like just spotting a little bit. And I was like, oh, maybe dogs bite shit. So I was thinking she just scratched her gums.
Yeah.
Well, one day Zane and I were home. I was working. Zane came home for lunch. And she had a little bit of blood, not much, like a couple spots pooled up on the pillow.
You had Wesley as well.
Yeah, Wesley was with us. I don't think it was e-learning. I think Kalia's with her mom, if I remember. So it must have been around Christmas.
I think it was a break. Yeah.
Yeah, but so Kalia wasn't with us, and there were a couple of spots of blood on the pillow, and then Zane and I went to lunch, and we came back, and there was probably a 4 or 5 inch puddle of just blood. I was like, oh God in heaven. So I called my vet, and it was probably like 2. He's like, I can't get her in. So I was like, Wesley, I got to take her to the emergency vet. Do you want to come with us? He's like, sure. So we go there, and they weigh the dog. And when we first got her, she was about 40 pounds. I think she was 22 when we weighed her. And she, how dogs shake themselves. she shook her cells and just blood flew everywhere. So their
Oh,
wall was just like, it looked like a murder scene.
oh
And I was
boy.
like, what?
Ugh.
So, and we had her wrapped up in towels because she was just drooling
Yeah.
blood. I apologize for the listeners; it's too graphic, but the vet did a what do they call it, X-ray on her,
Mm-hmm.
and she had not only been leaking blood into her out of her mouth, but into her abdominal cavities. Her abdomen was just full of blood, and he said that the liver was not producing the enzymes to coagulate anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So she just wasn't able to like stop bleeding. She was
Right.
like anemic. And he's like, I'm pretty sure it's liver cancer. And he's like, I'd have to diagnose it. He's like, I could give her a blood transfusion, but even at this point, the liver cancer appears to be pretty far gone. I was
Yeah.
like, ugh. So, well, they put us in a comfort room with a couch,
Yeah.
and we had Arya in my lap, and we were just loving on her. And Wesley was really sweet, and I was just a
Boohoo and mess.
boo-hooing.
Yeah. He was more worried about you
Well, yeah,
in that
because I was
situation
crying
than
so
like
much.
him. He wasn't thinking about his emotions in that situation. He was thinking about you and Arya, of course, because it was kind of. I'm not gonna say it's funny, but Wesley has wanted Arya's love and attention ever since he met Arya. Because I used to have Arya back in the day. And so Arya was my baby first, and then she was your baby. But I was still mama. And Wesley was like, I'm going to get this dog to love me. And it never happened. But
Yeah.
then when she started feeling sick, she would actually let him touch her. And he was like, she's getting better, Mom, because she's letting me touch her. And I'm like, I don't think that's the case, baby. And so
She was
he
just
got
too
to
sick
like,
to stop it.
right. And he got to like love on her. So he looks back at that as a triumph for him to be able to love on the
Yeah.
dog. But yeah, it's just
Oh, that was so sad.
sad.
So,
Sorry, listeners. He just
yeah,
took us
I
down.
did. And talking about homework now, talking about dead dogs.
I know, right? How did that happen?
Yeah.
Woo!
But well,
Crazy
maybe next
transition.
podcast we'll talk about the cats we got.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, now that we finished our sob story, let's we'll transition on the outro. So, for our 4 listeners, if you have any funny
Hi,
stories
Mom.
about your, sorry, drunk. What'd you say? Did you say hi, Mom?
I did.
Oh, okay. Okay. So for our 4 listeners, if you have any funny kids about your, if you have any
Ooh.
funny stories about your kids,
Or if you need some bad parenting advice.
email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com, all one word.
Yes, please.
What are we having snacking on, Jennifer? Oh,
Well, you get to tell snack
okay.
time, remember?
That's right. I'm sorry. A little tipsy for my little. Okay, so we did pretzel crisps again, but this is milk chocolate and caramel drizzlers.
It is so yummy.
Yeah.
And we were talking about my friend that might be coming on the podcast. She listened to season 1, and she said I had to go find those pretzel crisps because y'all made them sound so yummy. So we decided to eat them again on this one because hey, advertisements, maybe it'll help us.
Shit, if Pretzel Crisp will sponsor our asses, fuck yeah.
Yes, please.
But they are, Jennifer and I just did an episode recently where we had Biscoff, and
Yeah.
I was like, you can have the leftovers. Like, I don't mind, I like them, but they're not something I'd probably snack on. I was like, don't touch my Pretzel Crisps, though.
No, I get a plate and that's it. And these things are yummy.
Yeah, these are.
Like, I might like this better than just the plain pretzel crisps. These are really yummy.
They're kind of like the pretzel Rolo ones
Zane
that Zane.
makes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I still want to make. I don't think I've made that as a snack.
no.
Well, I'll make it when your friend comes.
Okay, that'll work.
If we can get your coworker.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that was snack time. Oh, you got a story for us, Jason?
Oh my God.
It's a good story?
It's funny. So, my daughter was up with my 2 youngest granddaughters, Ayana and Jalen. And no, was Jalen born yet? I'm not sure. I think Jalen was born.
Jalen was born.
Yeah. So Kiki was out with Jalen and Ayana, and I was holding Ayana, and our friends Chris and Troy came over, and I'm hoping to get them on the podcast soon. And I was teasing Ayana. I was like, Ayana, can you say fat ass? Or I was like, can you say butthead? No. Chris, who was a big old pot stirrer and troublemaker,
Yeah.
was like, he's like, Ayana, can you say butthole? And I was like, Ayana, can you say bitch? Because as I'm pointing at Chris, and Ayana goes, itch? And I was like, oh shit, Ayana, don't say that. Don't say bitch.
Don't do that one. No.
So I was like, ooh, I gotta watch my mouth around little Ayana.
Oh, yes. Because she's getting at that fun curiosity age. And
Yep, she can
she's
repeat
just
everything.
Just a mumbling away, not really
Uh-huh.
understanding what she's saying, but she wants to talk so bad. And
Yep.
oh, she's just adorable.
I will say I'm glad I don't cut of me, Zane, and Jennifer. I probably cuss the least. Zane's next in line, then Jennifer. You know how to pirate, but you do cuss, especially when your temper's flaring.
Well, I'm just normal conversation.
Yeah, but I
I'm
tend,
a sailor.
yeah, but we always say they're adult words. I'm like, when you become an adult, you can say them.
Yep.
I was like, I don't want to be insulted. But when you become an adult, they're adult words.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed we haven't had the kids like drop an F-bomb or an S-bomb or something like that
He does. Excuse me.
to our face.
Well, yeah. He does say, like, God dang it. And I'm like, baby, don't say that. It's too close. And Uma would be really mad at you putting God in there. Because if she were to hear him say that, she'd probably, like, get on to him.
Say gosh darn it.
Yes, but I don't want him to say gosh darn it either because he's getting too close to the actual word. And that's why when I first got him, it was like sugar instead of shit. Or I do sugar pie honey bunch if I was like really like shit kind of thing. I think that was I never said like fudge when around him or anything that was really close to the word.
Yeah.
It would just really just be sugar. Because it doesn't sound like shit at all.
Yeah.
But gosh darn it, or fudge, or witch, or, son of a witch.
Poopy head's an asshole.
Mother fudger. It all kind of, sounds like it. And I don't even want him to do anything that sounds like it because I don't want to get him in trouble for pretending to say an adult word and then he didn't say it, but because we don't believe him, because he lies too much, he's going to get in trouble for it.
We'll have to have a whole episode about this.
You think we could do that?
I don't know. Writers, call in.
Okay. Writers? Listeners?
Jesus Christ.
Someone's had too much wine.
I know. Hush. 4 glasses.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you to all 4 of our listeners for listening to another episode to A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like we tell our kids, just like when our kids. Sorry, I broke this and I cannot read it. And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask if we can pay them to clean their own rooms,
Tough shit.
go clean your bucket.
That's right.
Goddamn. Bye.
Bye.